Emily Foster had always been proud of her independence. At 38, she had built a stable life for herself in the quiet suburb of Greenfield, a town where people still waved at each other from across the street and neighbors lent each other sugar without asking too many questions. Her small, cream-colored house stood at the end of Willow Lane, with a maple tree in the front yard that turned a brilliant shade of gold each autumn. That Tuesday morning, Emily's plan was simple: work from home, drink coffee, and finally get that list of small household repairs done. She had made the list months ago. Things like tightening the loose leg of the coffee table, fixing the flickering light in the hallway, and replacing a leaky kitchen faucet. It wasn't that she couldn't do some of them herself. She had tried. But after one too many trips to the hardware store, she decided it was time to call in a professional. The handyman came highly recommended by her neighbor, Linda. "He's young, but he's good," Linda had said with an approving nod. "Name's Ryan. Works quickly, very polite. And he's just down the street." Emily liked the sound of that. Someone close, easygoing, and capable. At exactly 9:30 that morning, a pickup truck pulled into her driveway. Emily, still in her cozy cream sweater and jeans, peeked through the window as a young man stepped out. He was tall, maybe 6 feet, with short dark hair and a warm smile. His flannel shirt was rolled at the sleeves, revealing the kind of tan that comes from working outdoors, and in his hand was a sturdy red toolbox. When she opened the door, Ryan greeted her with a polite, "Good morning, Miss Foster. I'm Ryan, here for the repairs." "Please call me Emily," she replied, smiling as she stepped aside to let him in. "Thanks for coming on such short notice." He nodded, setting his toolbox near the living room. "No problem at all. Where should I start?" Emily led him through the list. She pointed out the wobbly coffee table leg first. Ryan crouched down immediately, inspecting the bolts and gently shaking the table. "This one's easy. Just needs to be tightened and reinforced." She took a seat on the sofa, curling her legs under her as she sipped her coffee. "Good to know I didn't break it beyond repair," she said with a little laugh. As Ryan worked, Emily found herself watching the rhythm of his movements, steady, efficient, and unhurried. He asked her questions now and then, where she kept certain tools if she wanted him to polish the wood after fixing it. She liked that he cared about details. At one point, his wrench slipped from the table edge and clinked to the floor. Without thinking, Emily leaned forward to pick it up at the same moment he did. Their hands met briefly over the handle, and they both chuckled. "Thanks," Ryan said, giving a sheepish smile. "No problem," she replied, settling back into her seat. Over the next hour, they fell into an easy conversation. Emily told him about her work as a freelance graphic designer, and he shared stories about starting his handyman business just 2 years earlier. She learned that he'd grown up in Greenfield, left for college, and then returned to help his family. There was something grounded about him, someone who valued hard work without needing to boast about it. When the coffee table was done, he moved to the hallway to address the flickering light. Emily followed with her mug in hand, leaning against the wall as he removed the old fixture. "This light's been driving me crazy," she admitted. "Sometimes it flickers so much, I just avoid the hallway at night." Ryan glanced at her with a grin. "We'll fix that. Can't have you scared of your own house." As he worked overhead, Emily noticed how careful he was, checking wires twice before making adjustments. Soon the light shone steadily, casting a warm glow that made the hallway feel new again. By the time he reached the leaky faucet in the kitchen, the air between them felt friendly and familiar, as if they'd known each other far longer than just a couple of hours. Emily offered him fresh coffee, which he gladly accepted. They sat at the kitchen table for a few minutes, just talking about the town, about autumn, even about their favorite movies. When Ryan finally packed up his tools, Emily felt a surprising pang of disappointment. She had enjoyed his company more than she expected. As he reached the door, he turned back with a small folded note. "What's this?" she asked. "Just a thank you," he said, "for the coffee and the good conversation. Not every house call feels this welcoming." After he left, Emily unfolded the note. In neat handwriting, it read, "If you ever need help, household or otherwise, you know where to find me. Ryan." She sat back on the sofa, holding the note in her hands, feeling oddly moved. It wasn't about the repairs. It was about the reminder that kindness could come from unexpected places. The day had started as an ordinary Tuesday, but thanks to a 25-year-old handyman with a steady smile and a willingness to help, it had turned into something quietly unforgettable. From that day on, Emily kept the note tucked in her desk drawer. And every time she walked down the hallway under that steady light, she remembered the warmth of that morning and the young man who had brought it into her home.